back at it again. I'm Gavin.
I'm Rod.
How we doing today? Let's jump right into it. Starting with the NFL, we got to talk about the Miami Dolphins. Something that I did not think would happen this season. They won a game. Get down. They moved to 1-7. Ryan Fitzpatrick, we know that he's good for 2 or 3 games every season, and he had himself a hell of a game. I know you got the stats.
Where's he from?
Harvard.
Wow.
The beard. He had
awesome.
How many yards for 3 touchdowns? I can't remember exactly.
Fitz, 24, 36, 288, 3 touchdowns, no picks.
No picks. And we know that this is a guy that's so hot and cold that he could throw 5 picks with no touchdowns.
Wake up, Fitz.
3 touchdowns.
It's not a dream.
3 touchdowns with no interceptions. Granted, they were playing the Jets. And, hey, they did beat the Cowboys.
True.
But anyway, getting back on track.
Slow down.
Getting back on track. The Dolphins got their first win against the New York Jets. Sam Darnold, he just continues to struggle. That guy, ever since they caught him on tape talking about Ghost and playing the Patriots and all this garbage, he just hasn't been the same.
No.
So, how much credit are we going to give Miami for this win?
Very little.
Very little.
Very little. We'll see what they bring next week.
Anyway, the Dolphins join the Jets, the Falcons, and the Redskins as teams with only 1 victory this season, with the Redskins also getting their victory against the Dolphins. So there is one left, though. There is still hope for an 0-16 season with the Cincinnati Bengals.
They'll get one. They'll get one.
0-8. So there's still hope. Could they be?
Do they play Miami?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Or the Browns?
Yeah, man, the Browns are struggling. I was just going to say, maybe they could be the 2016 Browns, but the 2019 Browns don't look much better, even with all that talent. What happened?
Or the Bills. The Bills are sliding.
The hype train for that. Everybody was talking about, playoffs, championship, Super Bowl. Whoever said Super Bowl, and whatever idiot out there got a Brown Super Bowl tattoo before the season started. God have mercy on your soul, man.
Hold my beer. Okay.
A definite hold my beer moment.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and move on from some crappy teams and let's talk about some mediocre ones. Thursday night football, the Los Angeles Chargers travel to Oakland to take on the Raiders. Both teams have 4 wins. The Chargers with 1 extra loss sitting at 4-5. Oakland at 400. Wow, 500, sitting at 4-4. Chargers favored by 1 point in this, even though they're traveling. They are coming off a victory against the 7-2 Green Bay Packers, though. Very impressive win. What do you think?
Rivers, he played really good this last week. But I'm taking Gruden. Gruden's Raiders are looking better. Carr, what can you say about Derek Carr? Except for he fumbled again the week before.
He's done that.
They're acting like it said, he does this all the time. He did it like once the year before, fumbled or tried to reach and fumbled the ball.
I think what's raised concern is that he's done it twice this season.
Hey, he's going out there and doing it.
Do you think that this is a trend?
No.
You don't think this is a possibility of happening again?
No.
Because I think ball security is one of the things, not only does Gruden preach it, but it's been an issue ever since Adrian Peterson a few years ago had how many fumbles in one game? 3 or 4, I think.
I'll take Derek Carr as probably one of the top 3 guys I would take at quarterback in the league.
Is Derek Carr a top four quarterback?
Yes.
A top 4 quarterback?
Yes.
Better than Brady? Better than Rodgers?
Jeez, you would ask me about Brady. I hate Tom Brady.
Hey, I don't like the guy.
The guy eats pudding before the game, doesn't he? Or Jell-O, something.
We know he kisses his son.
He's got to stay regular. I don't know. What is he, like 58? I don't know.
Is he 40? 43?
I don't know. He's old. He's been in there since the
I want to know whatever drugs he's on. I need those whenever I'm 43 so that I can still do that kind of stuff. But
he's not good under pressure anymore. He gets rid of the ball. I would take Derek Carr, yes. Maybe.
I would take him now. There's no doubt I would take him now.
3 or 4 years ago.
Take a look at the Patriots schedule. And out of the 7 games they played before this last one that they got beat by Baltimore, which was a convincing win, by the way.
Baltimore handled them pretty well.
But prior to that game last night, if we want to talk about the 7 games that they played against opponents, they had a combined 14 wins. Combined 14 wins.
Oh, but the Patriots are so good.
That's an average win of 2 per team.
Then they meet somebody with a little bit of talent. What was it, 37 to 20?
20, I think.
Wow.
17-point ass whooping.
What did?
But supposedly the Patriots are favored to win the Super Bowl still. But.
Jackson was, well, he had 163 yards passing, but 61 yards on the ground.
Yep.
17 to 23. Not too shabby. A lot better than he was. Especially so he's definitely been working on it. So
we heard about it all off season. This guy is waiting to throw the football. We know he can throw the football. That's all we heard up until the season started, and we saw it right out of the gate. Granted, it was against Miami, and they dropped a 50 bomb on him. But throwing for almost 400 yards from a guy that last year couldn't throw and hit the broadside of a barn from 25 yards. It's very impressive.
Very impressive.
A true dual threat quarterback at this point, which is what he's becoming. And
normally, dual threat quarterbacks do not last too long in the league because they get hit running the football.
And we've seen it with guys like RG3, Andrew Luck.
RG3 lasted what, a year? Maybe
a year and a half, maybe.
Yeah, he got hurt, and then
Andrew Luck was in the league for 4 years, 4.5 years, and then he's out now. He's retired.
Yeah,
it's just, you can't expect to be a running back at the quarterback position.
The speed at linebacker, the speed at safety, they're going to come up and hit you
in today's game, especially.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, he may prove me wrong, but we'll see.
Let's jump back into Thursday Night Football so we can get our predictions on the game for you guys. Like I said, Los Angeles Chargers traveling to Oakland to play the Raiders. The over-under for the game, 48 points. I think this will be surpassed just because I think Phillip Rivers is starting to heat up. And on top of that, the Raiders have scored over 25 points in the last 3 games. So that's very convincing for me. I know that the Chargers are favored by 1 point in this game, but Oakland is at home. I like them to break above 500. I'm going to go ahead and take Oakland by a touchdown on this one. What do you think?
I like Oakland at home. They used to have the best home record. Best Monday night record. And I think Gruden's putting them back on that track. He's one heck of a coach, and I'll take the Raiders. Even if it's more of a point, they're going to win.
I know we touched on Derek Carr, but how about that rookie running back of theirs out of Alabama, Josh Jacobs?
Josh Jacobs, 28 carries, 120 yards.
In the 8 games he's played this season, he has 780-something yards. He's almost rushed for 100 yards per game average over the season. He's definitely gunning for 1,600. He might get close to 2,000 depending on the opponents he goes up against. But he's looking like a stud. And everyone questioned the pick. They said, are you sure that this is the guy? Because Alabama running backs usually don't work out. And he stuck with his gut and he went with his man. And we see the kind of production he's getting out of him right now.
Well, a lot of people have questioned John Gruden since he stepped back in. But, hey, just wait. He knows what he's doing. He's coached before.
Especially in the AFC, a 9-7 record could very well get you into the playoffs, depending where you sit.
They're 4-4. They could finish 10-5. I mean, he's got them rolling. If they happen to get a couple more losses, they can still get in.
So you're ready to hear from us. We're going to go over, both of us. You said over on 48-point spread, right?
Yeah, I believe that it'll go over that. Yeah.
Okay, so we're both taking over 48 on the spread, and we're both going to take the Raiders, even though the Chargers are favored in this one. Go ahead and win yourself some money. Bet on Oakland. Let's go ahead and transition to this. The NBA. Well, I know you don't like it. We got to talk about the Lakers again. They're in the headlines.
Crybaby. Crybaby Lakers.
The crybaby himself had a heck of a game the other night. He had a 27-point triple-double. He is now in possession of the oldest player in NBA history to record a triple-double at almost the age of 35. The Lakers are on a 5-game win streak. The Heat also sit at 5-1 with the Lakers at 5-1, and we know Jimmy Butler has been back for the last 3 games.
I like Jimmy, good player.
Out of the Heat and the Lakers, who has surprised you more to be sitting at 5-1 this season?
Definitely the Heat. I mean, look at the money the Lakers spent. I mean, they should be undefeated.
Except that other LA.
They wouldn't stop to cry about calls and how things are going, and I didn't get the ball, and just play basketball. I still think the Clippers are going to beat them, but the Heat definitely is surprising at 5-1. But they got Jimmy.
Yeah,
Jimmy makes other players play well. That's the way he is.
I know we talked about this before we started recording today. You said that everyone's questioning whether or not Jimmy is a great basketball player.
He is.
And he came out and addressed the media and said, MFers think I'm not a good basketball player. Well, Jimmy, you're absolutely right. You are a good basketball player. You're in the NBA. But not only that, he's not leading the team in points or rebounds or anything like that, but averaging 15, 7, and 7 to go along with 4 steals a game. Granted, it's a small sample size, but that's the kind of intensity that he brings to a club.
Good defense. Hey, guy's been in the league as long as he has, and he's still playing great defense.
Yep.
Yeah, tell me he's not a great player. He plays better defense than La Baby. So,
and we know that the media likes to say whatever they want. I also think the Heat, I thought they would be better. I thought they'd make the playoffs as maybe a 6 or 7 seed. I did not anticipate them being this good. I think they've got a lot of help from their rookies. I think Kendrick Nunn is a great story. Former University of Illinois basketball player, transferred to University of Oakland his senior year. Has been in the G League for a couple of years. He's on the team. Tyler Hero out of Kentucky, great three-point shooter. Is more than a three-point shooter now, which is what everyone didn't think that he could do, but we saw him drop Austin Rivers in that game last night. That was great. Just everyone coming together. Bam Adebayo has been, one of the more athletic centers and one of the more hopeful players, especially for Miami. Just the whole cohesive unit. It's been something to watch. And if you haven't seen a Miami Heat basketball game this season, definitely turn on your television and watch a few of them. You won't be disappointed. They just blew out the Rockets the other night by 20-something points. At one point, I think they led by 46. It was a record. They scored 48 points, I think, in the first quarter. It was unbelievable. But definitely have to go.
I didn't see the game.
Well, if you haven't, check out the highlights. You won't be disappointed.
I didn't see it.
Let's move to one of my favorite players, and now the head of the Toronto Raptors, champion, not this side right here, there we go. Champion Toronto Raptors, Pascal Siakam. Yeah, woo. My guy, Kawhi Leonard, he left us for the Clippers. Okay, I can't blame a guy for going home, but up yours for not staying. I still love you, dude, and I watch you on the Clippers there.
Maybe you didn't like the cold air up there.
He probably
It is Canada.
I mean, you did have people that were, painting murals of you on 3-story buildings. I think that would be pretty cool.
Toronto, Coast, LA, whatever. Warm.
I don't blame him. I'm just saying, run it back,
Money.
man. Run it back. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and talk about the new leader, Pascal Siakam, who broke out last season, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah,
he's played 6 games.
Great. Playing great.
Played 6 games this season, averaging 26 points, 8.5 rebounds, 3 assists, shooting 42% from the three-point line. And this
42%.
This is a guy, on 5 attempts a game, this is a guy who 2 years ago wouldn't even think about attempting one in the corner unless he was wide open. Think about that. Think about in 2 years how far strides this guy has taken, especially at the free throw line, shooting 96% on 6 attempts per game through 6 games.
Yeah,
that's very impressive. And
you can see it last year that he was coming on last year. So I mean, he's a very dedicated. I mean, he is working hard at being one of the best players in the NBA. I mean, he really works at it. So,
for those of you that don't know, this guy Pascal was going to give up basketball at the age of 15 to be a preacher over in Africa.
Yep.
Masai Ujiri saw him when he got a scholarship at the University of New Mexico and said, "You're not going to go back there. We want you." And they took him in the second round. Actually, not the 26th pick. It was close to the second round. But one of the steals of the draft for sure. He's definitely a top 3 player, if not top 2. You can argue from that draft class. I had to sneak him in here, even though the Raps are 4-2 right now. I'm just blown away with his.
Hey, 4-2 is a pretty good record.
His performance, and even in losses, I mean, he's still scoring 17, 18 points, grabbing 10 rebounds, and shooting similar percentages. So.
Well, you got to make up the loss of Kawhi. And they've done that. To me, they've done that. 4-2, that's pretty good.
Everyone that wrote this team off that said, they might make the playoffs, they might be a 7 or 8 seed. I truly think that they can grab a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. I think that they can compete in the second round and possibly push for a championship series. But that's my homerism talking, if you can't tell. But I really think that this team can compete. I really do. I think Philly's a great team. I think Milwaukee's a great team. Miami. But the Raptors are still in it. Don't count Toronto out.
I ain't counting them out. I don't think they'll make it back to the championship. But
no, I don't think. I think those aspirations, that ship has sailed once they saw.
I could be wrong.
How good the other teams in the East were. But There's always a chance. Injuries happen. But let's go ahead and talk about some hockey. Not just any hockey. We're not talking professional hockey, no. We're talking Federal Hockey League, Danville Dashers. Undefeated still, coming off the weekend. November 1st, November 2nd, they took on a doubleheader against the Danbury Hat Tricks. You went to that first game, didn't you, on November 1st?
It was awesome. First home game, they started off sluggish, and then they just went after it. And it wasn't really a fight fest, but they were up and down the ice, keeping their cool, looking for their shots, and the other team was, we give the other team a lot of hell when they're at home. I mean, we just really lay it to them, whether they're listening or not. We have a lot of fun doing it, but they looked really good. Especially their captain, Brazen and Fred Hines. He's like an anchor out there. So again, if you haven't been over to see a game, $10, it's so much fun. Go see a game.
Absolutely. To get into the statistical side of it, the first game of Friday, November 1st, the final score 5-3. Your number one star of the game, our Danville Dashers' own Fred Hine, with 1 goal, 2 assists. And this game, especially the one that you went to, in the first period, they came out really sluggish. If we're going to be honest, and I don't like to grill this team because I love it. I love them.
Yep.
I love the players. I love the fans. I love the coach. But they came out really sluggish, and they ended up getting down. Was it 2-1? I think
2-1.
At the end of the first period, they just didn't really look like themselves. But when they came back out, they had more energy. I think that the coach must have said something in the locker room, because they came out and they were slamming guys into the wall. They were dashing up and down the ice, no pun intended. And it felt more like Dashers hockey. I think that there were some nerves there, being the season opener. But everything in those last 2 periods, that last 40 minutes of hockey, just felt so much better than the first.
They took it to them the last 2 periods. It was a lot of fun to watch. And I didn't go to the second Saturday night. I didn't go, but Gavin went, and I think they played a little better on Saturday.
Absolutely.
Too.
After outscoring Danbury in the last 2 periods on November 1st of the home opener, would have been 4-1, because they had 2 goals after the end of the first period. So outscoring them 4-1. They brought that same intensity Saturday night when they came out. Final score 6-2. Yep. Your number one star again, Fred Hine, with 2 goals and 1 assist. He had 3 goals and 3 assists for the duration of the.
And one badass fight,
of the weekend. Yeah, he had himself a Gordie Howe hat trick there with a goal, assist, and a fight, which he won, by the way. Which I'll go ahead and
it's like Gordie Howe and Mike Tyson.
I'll stick that video in here somewhere so you guys can see it. Slow to start off, but then he got his 8-9 punches in there and brought him down to the ground. That was a great.
Oh man, it was quick. You couldn't even count them all.
Great win. But that game, they came out and hit him in the mouth. Those 6 goals. I think they had 5 at the end of the second period. So it really wasn't a contest from the start. My guy Levi Armstrong, he almost got himself one there in front of the.
Word up, baby.
In front of the crease, he had a 1-on-1 with the goalie. Just tried to flip it over him, but missed it. Just by a hair. I really wish you would have got that one in, but still, nonetheless, love watching you out there, man. Love what you do. We'll keep coming. But other than that, the next game, like my dad said, it's going to be next Friday, November 8th at 7:05. We're going to be taking on the Watertown Wolves, which I believe have 1 or 2 wins on the season, but they're not undefeated.
4-0.
Danville 4-0, tied with Carolina for first. They have the tiebreaker with point differential, so they're sitting on top of the entire FHL as of this moment. So that's awesome. Hopefully they keep it up. Didn't really see too much winning towards the middle of last season, but they picked it up towards the end. Lost a lot of guys, got a couple new guys, and I really like what I see from this group. Just the cohesiveness and the way that they're able to play together and come together on the ice. It's something to watch. Like you said,
there's quite a few new players this year, which there usually is from year to year, but they look pretty good. The second half of that hockey game, and then Saturday you said they played even better. So That's coming together. It's nice to 4-0. That's awesome. Because I don't know if we saw 4 wins every
Not
game
in a row.
every game we went to last year. But I mean, they gave it a hell of a shot. But
we always won the fights, though.
We did do that. They are tough when it comes to fighting.
That's true.
I went to a fight and a hockey game broke out.
Isn't that a Canadian saying?
Whoop.
Shout out to Tanner. If you're watching this, you know exactly what we're talking about. But let's go ahead and let's wrap it up. Let's go back to the NBA and let's go ahead and get our predictions for Tuesday, November, would it be 5th, I believe?
Yes.
Let's go ahead and look at that. I believe there's 6 games going on altogether. I don't think we have, yes, we do have the spread for that. The first one is going to be the Indiana Pacers visiting the Charlotte Hornets. Both teams 3-3. It looks like in this one, Indiana's favored by 2.5 points. They've been iffy this season. The Hornets have been hot.
Hornets at home?
Yeah, I just don't know if I trust a Michael Jordan-led team to win 2 games in a row.
You say something bad about Michael?
As an owner, I'll tell you, he's god awful. But as a player, he might be the best.
He's gotten fat.
But just a little. That tends to happen when you're in your late 50s. But
walk the golf course, Michael. No righty, walkie.
So let's go ahead and take a look here. It says that Indiana has a 60% chance to win this game, but they're only favored by 2.5 points. Who are you taking in this one?
I'd say I want to take the Pacers.
Take the Pacers.
Yep.
I would also take the Pacers in this one. Like I said, I just don't know how much I trust a Hornets team to beat this. Malcolm Brogdon for the Pacers has been too good. Have him on my fantasy team, doing great.
Pacers got some talent.
They do. Even without Victor Oladipo, I think they're doing great.
They usually play well on the road. So
okay, we're both going to take the Pacers in this one. Let's go on to game 2. The San Antonio Spurs at the Atlanta Hawks. I believe Trae Young will be back, but I don't know if he's 100%. So question mark for the Hawks in this one. I'm going to go ahead and take the Spurs because they're favored by 3. Like I said, Atlanta at home, they've been good. They come out of the gate strong. I just don't think that Trae Young's going to come back 100%. I like DeMar DeRozan. I like DeMarcus Aldridge. I like DeJounte Murray. I'm going to go
DeRozan.
I'm going to take the Spurs.
He's a traitor.
Hey,
he left.
It wasn't his choice.
I know.
It wasn't his choice.
They got rid of him. I'll take Pop and the Spurs.
So we're 2 for 2 then.
Yep.
We're going to take the Spurs. Let's go game 3. The Los Angeles Lakers, La Baby.
The crybaby Lakers.
At the Chicago Bulls. Lakers favored by 6.5 points. I'm going to go ahead and take
At Chicago?
Yeah, they're at Chicago. But I got to go with the Lakers.
Man, I hate taking the Lakers. I hate La Baby. I'll have to take the Lakers because they're going to just whoop on the
I'd be
Bulls.
surprised if they don't win by double digits.
I'd say they'll win by 12 at least.
At least, yeah. And it's not just LeBaby, though. I think Dwight Howard is having a bounce-back season after a few years of mediocrity. Averaging over 2 blocks.
It's about time for him.
Over 2 blocks a game. Don't disrespect my man Dwight, future Hall of Famer, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year.
I thought he retired.
Everyone thought that he did. Everyone thought that he was going to if he didn't get picked up.
He just didn't have any stats. No, I mean, the playing time got less. He wasn't doing anything, fouling.
Well, and he got injured. He hurt his back for the 2nd time in his career.
Hey, it sounds like LeBaby.
Second LeBaby? LeBaby Jr.
Yeah. Dwight LeBaby.
Dwight LeBaby. Okay, so we're both going to take the Lakers in this one. Let's go game 4. Boston Celtics at the Cleveland Cavaliers. Boston's favored by 5.5. This should be no contest. I'm taking the Celtics in this one. The Cavs do not look very good this season.
At the Cavaliers?
Yes, they are.
Is my man still there?
Well, Kevin Love?
Kevin Love?
Kevin Love is there.
Dropping down. I'm taking the Cavs at home. Kevin Love is going to put up a big 3-0.
I need to write this one down because, oof.
Big 3-0. Maybe.
I don't know how I trust that, but.
Maybe a double-double.
Oh, I think he might get a 20-10 game. He might get 20. Tristan Thompson really is the story here. Because the past 3 years, he has been absolutely terrible. But this year, he's averaging a double-double. He's averaging a double-double.
That will fade.
For the first time.
For Tristan Thompson. That's going to fade.
I think first time in 3 years.
Kevin Love, at least a double-double, 30 points. He's going to bring it.
He's calling 30
He's
points.
bringing the heat.
Calling 30
bringing the heat.
Okay, I'm taking the Celtics. He's taking the Cavs.
Right.
If you want to win, take me. If you want to lose, take him.
Come on, man.
Let's go Game 5. The Orlando Magic at the Oklahoma City Thunder. Both teams 2-4. Oklahoma City favored by 3. Ooh,
At Oklahoma.
Yeah, at Oklahoma City. This is a tough one. Both teams are pretty mediocre. I don't know.
Do I got a coin on me?
Yeah, seriously. Is there one here?
No.
I'll tell you what. I'll go ahead and take the Thunder because they're at home. But this is really a toss-up.
I'll take the Thunder at home, but don't put any money on this game.
It could go either way. It really could go either way. If I look at the
unless you're just giving it away, then you can.
Honestly, though,
send it here.
Honestly, though, I would probably go with the Thunder just because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's had a breakout season so far, averaging 22 points.
My God, nobody's even mentioned him this year.
22 points, 7 rebounds as a sophomore. I would go ahead and take the Thunder.
I've not heard anybody mention Alexander this year.
Seriously, if you want to take the bet, take the Thunder. I think he'll have a great game, at least 25 points. You can take that to the bank.
Put extra money on the Laker game.
Let's go ahead.
Don't worry about this game. We'll give you the spread, but $1 maybe. Don't get wound up.
Take the Thunder. Let's go ahead and get into the last game here. The Miami Heat at the Denver Nuggets. I believe I was right in the last Denver Nuggets game we predicted that the Mavericks.
Slipped me the old Mickey Finn on that.
Now we were just talking about the Heat. They're traveling to Denver, so this could be a tough
What's
one.
the spread?
Denver favored by 5.
I'll take the Heat. Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to take Miami as well. I don't think that win streak's going to come to an end. I have to go with the Heat.
He's playing too good. Plus,
yeah.
He's got something to prove to these MFers that thinks he's not a player.
Yeah, thinks he's not. Speaking of not a good basketball player.
He's in the NBA.
He's in the NBA. How bad can he be? Here's the thing. If they want to talk about what went on in Minnesota with Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins and all those young guys that have been in for like 3 or 4 years, you don't know anything about the NBA. Okay? These millennials, which I am one, might I add you, don't know anything about hard-nosed basketball. When you want to talk about that, go back to the 80s, go back to the 90s, watch some real basketball. That's, before they put in the hand check in like 2003, which was bullshit, but we're not going to get into that.
Somebody hand check me. Didn't work in the 80s.
Nope.
Hand checking all over.
But
I'll take the Heat.
Yeah,
I'll take the Heat.
I'm going to take the Heat too in this one. I think that's all we have.
What else we got? Thursday night. We did Thursday.
Night.
Oh, we did that. Chargers.
Night football.
Chargers Raiders.
Taking the Raiders.
The Raiders.
And we did basketball. Danville Dashers, go out and check them out next Friday at the David S. Palmer Center in Danville off Main Street. They're undefeated, man. It's great fun. They're got the highest point differential in the league. If you want to see some good hockey and you don't want to go to a professional game, go check them out. What are you waiting for? Go check them out.
Hey, one thing to mention is that, and we haven't even talked about it, is Illinois football. They're now what?
God.
5 and 4. I would have never guessed it.
5 and 4.
I've told everybody all year that they didn't have the talent. They couldn't win. They would win a couple, 2 or 3 games at the start of the year, and that would be it.
They do.
That's not happening. Even though I don't like Lovie Smith.
I love Lovie.
Not very personable.
I love Lovie.
And you cannot be a college coach and not talk to the fans. Or
he's a hater.
I've been to his radio show.
He went to a Super Bowl.
He sneaks in, does his radio show, and he slithers out.
He went to a Super Bowl. How many Super Bowls have you been to?
I've not been to any.
Oh, well, no.
Well, I can't coach him. But I talk to fans if, he doesn't.
I'm just giving you crap.
He looks like Santa Claus.
He does look like Santa
Love it. Anyway, I wanted to mention that.
I wonder, do you think
I don't think anybody predicted Illinois would be 5 and 4 at this point in the season. Anybody that I talk to.
I'm just curious. Do you think that he'll dress up as Santa Claus this year?
He doesn't like talking to people. So I would think that would be a big no, unless he's just doing it at home for his wife. Ho, ho, ho. Give me some cookies and milk, honey.
I think on that note, we'll go ahead and stop it there. But if you like what you heard, go ahead and come back next week for another fantastic episode of Predictions Are Us. And if you would like to,
let us know in comments below.
Let us know in comments below. Go subscribe to Crazy Russian Hacker.
Oh wow.
Do gagging videos.
Oh wow. Boom.